Okay, guys. So yesterday we talked about totalitarian system. We talked about dictatorship. We talked about monarch. Monarch again is when you're inherited the queenship by right. Dictatorship is complete control. We talked about, for instance, example of Hitler. You all right? Hitler, or somebody else would be example of Castro, Mussolini. Those would be examples of dictators. Totalitarian system, that is a system that's completely controlled by the government. Okay, guys, again, this here is a little small, so if you need to get on your phone and go to chapter 5, unit 5, chapter 14 notes, you good? All right, you can do that. If not, you can move closer. So right now, let's talk about republic. Republic is a government bound by law. Some republics choose representatives to make decisions. Some republics also may be ruled by a group of nobles. An example of this right here would be the United States. This is how we govern, through a republic. Republic is a government bound by law. Some republics choose representatives to make decisions. Some republics also may be ruled by a group of nobles. An example of this is the United States. So again, this is very important, guys, with today being election day. You need to know how we govern, how we pick a representative.
You say unit 5 now?
Unit 5 is under Unit 5, and it's going to be Chapter 14 notes.
It's not on
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, awesome. So look at Chapter 15.
Where?
Go to Chapter 15, Unit 5, Chapter 15. You got it? Okay, next. Democracy. Democracy. People vote on issues directly, or they elect a representative who makes government decisions for them. Government authority is based on the will of the people. Exactly. This is exactly what we're under right here. Democracy. People vote on issues directly, or they elect a representative who makes government decisions for them. Government authority is based on the will of the people. Uncle Sam tells you right here, I want you to vote. This is what we're under right here. We are under a democracy in the United States. You can either vote directly, or you can choose a representative that will who will make government decisions for them. Government authority is based on the will of the people. This is democracy is completely different from totalitarian system. Where the totalitarian system is completely controlled by the government. You don't get a chance to vote. You don't get a chance to elect a representative. They will do everything for you. The government makes all the decisions. Government authority is based on the will of the people. Did you find those notes under chapter 5, unit 5, chapter 14? Am I?
Yes.
Okay, great. Awesome sauce. Quick reminder, guys, while it's on the board, if you need to, please make arrangements to see me with the test. If you want to make your test stuff, reassess, make arrangements. We got it? You good? You good? Two types of democracy. There are two types of democracy, guys. There's a direct democracy and there's a representative democracy. It's kind of self-explanatory. Direct democracy first arose in Athens. People vote on issues directly, no representative. So if TJ wanted to vote on an issue of not to have school on Fridays, TJ would vote directly for that, that would mean that he is voting for a direct democracy, because they are voting directly for that issue. But if TJ says, I'm gonna choose Amaya to represent my vote, I'm gonna tell Amaya what I want, how I want her to vote, then that would be the example of a representative democracy. People elect representatives to make government decisions. Democracy first arose in Athens. People vote on issues directly, no representatives. Representative democracy, people elect representatives to make government decisions. I know you guys see it if you drive around Lufkin and everywhere, you see all the signs in people's yards and on the side of the road, right? Y'all see them signs of people's houses.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff going on today. We're even voting for representatives like at Angelina College. So there's a lot of things at stake today. Democracy and representative democracy. Direct democracy and a representative democracy. Got it? All right, so when we talk about a representative democracy, when we talking about we're electing someone to represent us, there's two types of those types of democracy. There's a presidential and there's a parliamentary. In a presidential, that's what we have in the United States. Citizens, we elect a president as a leader of our country. We elect our president in the United States. In a parliamentary system, citizens elect a body of representatives to make government decisions for them. That leader is called a prime minister. For example, that's what they have in Canada. They have a prime minister in Canada. In the United States, we have a president. Citizens elect, in the parliamentary system, citizens elect a body of representatives to make government decisions for them. And the leader is called a prime minister. In the United States, citizens elect the president as the leader of the country. And that's what we're doing today, what we're voting for today. Types of representative democracy: presidential and a parliamentary. Presidential, citizens elect the president as a leader. Example, United States. In the parliamentary, citizens elect a body of representatives to make up the government decisions for them. That leader is called the prime minister. Example being Canada. Get it? Wait. Critical thinking question: if liberty and equality as thought of some are chiefly to be found in democracy, they will be best obtained when all persons are allowed to share in the government to the utmost. What aspect of democracy is the speaker referring to? Do you agree with the speaker? Why or why not? The critical question is saying, if liberty and equality as it is thought by some chiefly to be found in democracy, they will be best obtained when all persons represented share in a government to the utmost. What aspect of democracy is this referring to? Do you agree with the speaker or not? This critical thinking is referring to the representative democracy. Wait. And the last government that we're going to talk about is theocracy. Theocracy is ruled by a religious leader. No, they have no separation between church and state. Leaders claim government is directed by God. An example of this would be Iran. How this is different between us and the United States is that we don't have our church and state is separated here in the United States. That's why we don't have prayer in schools and things of that nature, because we have a clear separation of church and state. But in Iran, they don't have a separation of church and state. They think it's one. And kind of like in a monarch, they say that all their leaders are claimed to be directed by God. And they're ruled by religious leaders in Iran. Theocracy, ruled by religious leaders. And we just came off that section talking about Islam and Judaism and all the religions. So you guys have a good grasp of the religious leaders. What's the next one? Hold on, I didn't notice. These two right here, a totalitarian system, dictatorship, absolute monarch, theocracy. Democracy, republic, constitutional monarch, theocracy. And anarchy. We are going to watch a video on the Electoral College so we can learn the process of how our vote will go towards voting for the president. It's important that we know that a lot of people think that the popular vote should mean a president should be a president. It doesn't. They go by the Electoral College. So we need to learn the process of the Electoral College. Yeah, you be on. You be on. I understand. I feel you.
You said you do.
I said I feel you. This morning I woke up with mine.
It's just, I don't know. When cold weather comes, it irritates my nose.
Mine was
I got bad allergies.
All right, so let's just watch this video, guys, and try to pay attention to this video so we'll know exactly about the Electoral College. What does it mean in terms of voting for the president? In terms of how many electoral votes he or she needs to be president, what can happen, what's not going to happen. You know, in the next election, guys, some of you guys will be able to vote. You don't want to vote. Why not? So you do not want to vote. Do you know that there has been many people that has made sacrifice for you to vote? Do you understand that? No, I'm just saying that what I'm saying is that right now you can't, but what I'm saying the next time that there's an election, you may be of age where you can vote. But I'm saying a lot of people say, well, I'm not gonna vote. But you gotta understand there has been a lot of people that came before you that has sacrificed the right for you to vote. And I'm not just talking about black people. There has been white people that's been killed and murdered and sacrificed themselves for us to have the right to vote. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
And then back in the day, women couldn't vote either.
And women couldn't vote. So I think that we owe it to people that came before us to exercise that right. And then just think, we talked about these systems here, from the totalitarian system and dictator system. What if you stayed in a place where you couldn't vote, or your vote didn't matter because the government was going to tell you what to think or what to do anyway? Make sense? Still not vote? Now why wouldn't you vote? You said, why would you?
I said, why wouldn't?
Why wouldn't you vote, or why would you vote?
Why wouldn't?
You do want to vote, or you don't? If you don't want to. So you don't think that your vote can make a difference?
No.
You don't think that?
No, it's a lot of people in the world.
There's a lot of people that do what?
It's a lot of people in the world
That don't?
that vote. So what you gonna be vote? That's us ain't gonna vote.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, then don't vote.
Did you vote?
You bet I did vote.
Who you vote for?
I can't discuss who I voted for because the way school and stuff, I can't really discuss who I voted. But I definitely voted because
I heard Biden ain't no better than Trump.
because I'm an American and we stand in democracy and I have a right to vote and people before me has died and has sacrificed for me to have the right to vote. And I believe I owe it to them to vote.
So who can you vote for? Biden or Trump? Them other people?
You vote, it's a lot of, you vote for people in the Senate, represented, you vote for people, local people here. It's today's election day, it's a very big day.
Today's election day?
Today, today's election day. Whew, y'all come on with it.